Hi, my name is Patric Gagne, author of the book Sociopath, a Memoir. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what life is actually like on the sociopathic spectrum. One of the most common questions I am asked is, what is the difference between sociopathy and psychopathy? This is a really good but extremely layered and complicated question, particularly because many researchers have reclassified sociopathy as secondary psychopathy. But if we're looking at it through that lens, my interpretation of the research is that the true primary psychopath has certain brain abnormalities that make it impossible for them to move through complex emotional development. So while they're able to feel the inherent primary emotions, happiness, sadness, etc., they're not able to experience the so-called learned social emotions. These include love, empathy, even jealousy to a certain extent, and so on. But sociopaths are different. Sociopathy does not appear to be the result of any biological abnormality. Sociopaths can progress through normal emotional development. They can learn the social emotions. They just learn them a bit differently. In the book, I refer to this as an emotional learning disability because that's what it feels like. But the biggest difference between psychopathy and sociopathy is that sociopathy can be treated, and treatment is particularly effective when started early, which is one of the reasons I wrote the book. In order to treat something, you have to be able to identify it. My hope is that Sociopath can help with that identification. Another question I'm often asked is, what's so different about you? How come you were able to lead a normal life as a sociopath? One thing I want to be very clear about is that there is absolutely nothing different or unique about me. The tragic misconception is that all sociopaths are doomed to live a hopeless, loveless life and die alone or in prison. But the truth of the matter is that I share a personality type with millions of other people, many of whom are living very normal lives under the radar, just as I was. Almost anyone with my personality type could have written a book like mine from their own unique perspective, and I hope they do. Is there more than one type of sociopath? Yes. Research indicates that, like many psychological disorders, sociopathy appears to fall along a spectrum. What this means is that there are extreme versions on one side, not so extreme versions on the other side, and lots of mid-range stuff happening in between. As a child, I understood that I was different, and I struggled with that difference. As I got older, these struggles became harder to deal with, and they affected my behavior in destructive ways. I decided to seek treatment because I wanted to understand my personality type and to develop healthier coping mechanisms to deal with my behavior. My hope is that Sociopath can inspire other people like me to do the same. How did you feel when you realized you were a sociopath? Relief, which I get sounds crazy, but again, I knew there was something different about me from a very early age. When I received my diagnosis, I finally understood why there was a reason I felt so different. There was a name for my disorder, and I shared this disorder with millions of other people. This made me feel less alone and ultimately became the impetus behind my decision to pursue a PhD. Another very common question I am asked is, do you experience love? The easy answer is yes. However, the way I experience love seems to be very different from the so-called neurotypical experience. Obviously, all I have is my interpretation of that experience, but from what I've been able to piece together, that experience is different than mine. My version of love seems much less emotional. And I know that sounds nuts because love, from what I gather, is the be-all, end-all of emotions. But if I had to use one word to describe my experience of love, I would say symbiotic. A relationship that is beneficial to both people involved. Not possessive, not transactional, not ego-driven, organic, additive, homeostasis. That is love to me. My goal is to provide a humanized understanding of an otherwise dehumanized disorder. Sociopaths learn from a very early age that the best way to stay safe is to stay hidden, to fly beneath the radar. Take it from me, that can be a very isolating experience. I wrote Sociopath because I know there are people living on the periphery, not knowing what's wrong, parents struggling with their kids, people struggling with their partners, and I wrote this book as a bridge to them. I want people to know that not all sociopaths are created equal. I think if more people understood that not every sociopath is a dangerous criminal or even a criminal at all, that more people with sociopathic traits would feel comfortable coming forward and that more treatments could be acknowledged for it. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video about life on the sociopathic spectrum. I'm Patric Gagne. See you soon.